Hey, we're back. Hello, good evening. This is the first episode of Black Man Into the Wild. Thank you for coming on this audio journey with me tonight. Today is Sunday, November 15th, 2020. And if you're joining me tonight, we've made it through another week. A month ago, they were saying that we would possibly be in an all out civil war by now, but that's not happened yet. We're here together tonight, so thank you. Thank you. So if you listened to last week's episode, I want to say once more, thank you again. Seriously, last week's episode was sort of like a trial run, a pilot episode. I wanted to see what it was like to actually sit down and record myself talking in front of a camera for an hour, test out the sound and the camera angles and so on and so forth. I think I may have had too much reverb, too much ambiance on the EQ. So hopefully we don't have any of that this week. But yeah, hopefully I can stay consistent with this thing on Sunday nights. I want to work on getting better every week as I talk to you all and maybe get to know some of the listeners. So as far as format, I don't really plan on ever getting too serious or too formal. I might talk about my week, not that I'm too, important or anything like that, but I did recently move to the Pacific Northwest, and the Pacific Northwest has been a topic of discussion in, broader conversations this year. So I figured at the end of every week, might want to give my 2 cents on what's happening out here, maybe what's happening in the world. But yeah, other than that, I might highlight, a recent hike or talk about a trip from the past weekend. I know last night, Saturday, what did I do? I drove out to the coast up here in Oregon. I was over in Cannon Beach around 11 o'clock last night, and man, it's quite amazing to be out there in the complete darkness compared to a bright sunny day. It's quite magnificent what the ocean is when you're out there alone, just staring at it. But yeah, I do like to get out into the nature every weekend when I can. So it might be kind of cool to talk about that with you guys, when I can. But yeah, other than that, talk about my week, talk about some recent trips, some recent adventures, and as we close the week and start a new week, talk about some current events, what's in the news. I know today we've got Beyonce and Peloton. That's going to be exciting. Chipotle opening up their first digital-only location. Trump denying New York access to the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. And then we're going to close it off tonight with Ticketmaster possibly requiring a negative COVID-19 test to enter concerts and other events. So, yeah, we've got a lot going on this week. What did I do? I didn't really get into it too much. Like I said briefly last Sunday, the weather's changing out here. The rain's coming. We did have a couple of breaks in the weather midway through the week, but for the most part, it was consistent rain. Didn't have any chili this week around. I did make some pretty good tuna salad though. I had that with some crackers and some cheddar cheese. But yeah, other than that, I tried to stay away from the political discussions, but that's nearly impossible. Even though the election's over, somehow it still manages to make its way in to my social media feed. Of course, you have Biden, the president-elect. Trump really hasn't conceded yet. I know we'll get into that in one of the articles here later on tonight. But, I'm pretty much exhausted. And yeah, outside of work, I know most people, I think most people are still working from home. So I'm working from home, still doing that, 9 to 5. And like I said, the weather's been a little bit damp, so I didn't get out much. But yeah, now it's Sunday, and I'm here recording. And yeah, like I said, the first story is interesting because it's Beyonce, it's Peloton, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if people are too familiar with Peloton, but I heard of them earlier this year. As we've been forced to work from home, not only are we working, but everything else that we typically enjoy as far as lifestyle options, amenities, going out to eat and going out to the gym, those types of things have been sort of shut off to us over the past year or so. I heard of Peloton maybe in March, April, as this bike, this home bike alternative to the gym. And this article came out, I think, today. It's in Variety, and it talks about Beyonce. Of course, everybody knows Beyonce. I think my first memory of Beyonce was her "Crazy in Love" video with Jay-Z, maybe 15 years ago. And since then she's gone on to release maybe six or seven studio albums, sell 120 million records. She's now part owner of the music streaming service Tidal, and since 2019, I think it was April 2019, she became the creative partner for Adidas to develop Ivy Park, which is a brand for athleisure clothing and footwear. So, Beyonce continues to expand her brand, and for a lot of people, this is an exciting move, teaming up with Peloton. And it goes on. Beyonce and the popular fitness platform Peloton have announced a multi-year partnership rooted in the celebration of music, a central component of the Peloton class experience and pro-social initiatives. Now, I talked to my younger sister about this. Of course, she's I don't know if she would consider herself part of the Beehive, but I know she's hip with pop culture, and she does her own stuff. So I asked her what it was all about, and she let me know. I didn't really know too much about Peloton's, I guess, exercise at home exercise platform, but she said it's pretty cool. Offers a good class where you can, I guess, join. Yeah, she told me there was a class option with up to 130 people, I guess, at one time, and I asked her, so you mean to tell me I can see 130 people on the screen? I guess these bikes have some type of Surface or iPad tablet built into them, so you can watch the class and sort of gauge how you're doing. And so I asked her, you can see 130 people, doing this class with you. And I guess what she was saying is there's a leaderboard on the side, and I guess they gauge it by certain metrics and different formulas on who's moving up or down the leaderboard. So I don't know. I might be getting a Peloton. But yeah, the story goes on. The launch of the collaboration with Beyonce, the most requested artist by Peloton's global community of more than 3.6 million members, according to the announcement, is commemorating Homecoming Season, the annual fall celebration for students at historically black colleges and universities that honors tradition and legacy. While most of this year's homecoming festivities shifted to virtual celebrations due to the global pandemic, Beyonce and Peloton worked to create a series of themed workout experiences to help extend homecoming to Peloton members via classes across multiple fitness categories, including indoor cycling, running, strength, boot camp, yoga, and meditation. So it sounds like they have a pretty complete package. And like I said, who knows? I might be getting myself a Peloton. I was in the mall today, and I saw their little sort of customer experience display set up, and it's maybe a 75 or 100 square foot little walk up sort of kiosk, but really it's more than a kiosk, and they have their whole sort of biking and treadmill workout experience in there. I guess they have a treadmill option as well. And I didn't go in, but I did go in. I did walk by, and I sort of stopped and paused, and I was like, man, this is kind of cool. I myself, I'm more of a runner when it comes to working out. I feel like the bikes, especially the bikes that are typically in the gyms, the seats are a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like it's fine to it's hard to find a comfortable indoor bike. I feel, um, and I don't know. I just haven't really, I guess, invested in a bike I can take with me and sort of move around. But yeah, and I had a membership earlier this year and last year, but due to the COVID-19 restrictions, I sort of revoked that earlier in the year, and I haven't gone back to the gym, but we'll see what happens with the Peloton. Scrolling down here, it says Homecoming, of course, was the title and theme of Beyonce's galvanizing 2018 performance at Coachella and the subsequent album and video. The two are also gifting 2-year Peloton digital memberships to students at 10 HBCUs, providing access to a full library of fitness classes through the Peloton app that can be used with or without equipment. The digital memberships will go to students at Bennett College, Clark Atlanta University, Grambling State University, Hampton University, Howard University, Morehouse College and Morehouse School of Medicine, Spelman College, Texas Southern University, and Wilberforce University by the end of November. And I guess it sort of wraps up here. It says, additionally, Peloton says it will build on its relationships with each of these schools to pursue long-term recruiting partnerships at both the internship and undergraduate levels. The content is accessible on the Peloton app as well as through the Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, and Shred Plus. In the coming months, Beyonce will continue to work closely with Peloton on various forms of class curation across all workout disciplines, including music, movement, fitness, and wellness. So, yeah, I was kind of joking before. Don't really see myself using the Peloton app or the Peloton bike anytime soon. However, the treadmill could be intriguing. I gotta get a better close up look at what the Peloton treadmill is like. But I think it'll be interesting to see what Beyonce does next. It seems like she's always on the move. No doubt that she is a boss. So she's got a long career ahead of her, and I'm excited to see what other brand ventures, what other brand deals she gets moving forward. So now another strong brand, and another powerful brand, one of my favorite brands, Chipotle. They were in the news this week. Now, anybody who knows me, they know that Chipotle is my favorite restaurant. I'm not really so much a fan of ordering my food online, which is what the next story goes into. But I do love Chipotle. This comes from the Washington Post. Chipotle leans into burritos to go with first digital-only restaurant. And like I said, I'm not a fan of, the online food delivery services, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash. I was looking today. There's a couple of other ones. I've never heard of Skip the Dishes or Delivery Hero, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the ordering online for a couple of reasons. Number one is I feel like for some reason, and I could be wrong, this could be a bias here, but I feel like the online orders in some situations, some scenarios, take priority over the customer who is waiting in line. And this is just one negative experience that I had, and maybe I shouldn't hold a grudge, but yeah, I never really understood. I guess I do understand, the reason why somebody would, order their food online and get it delivered. But when it comes to, I guess these new these new delivery services and this new trend to get your food DoorDashed or Uber Eats to you. I never really caught on to it. But yeah, this new format, I guess, of restaurants that Chipotle is trying out, it's going to be solely to serve, just that, target base, I guess, customers who like to order their food on the app or online, and they just want to sort of go into the Chipotle, grab their food. They've already paid. They don't need to sit down and do anything like that. So they're eliminating that option in these new stores. Earlier this year, um, they rolled out a Chipotle lane, which is a Chipotle drive-through option. They don't have those out here in the Northwest yet, out here in Oregon or Washington. So I'm not really sure. I'm sure it's typically, or I'm sure it's like your typical fast food restaurant, but I've never experienced or had to deal with the Chipotle fast a Chipotle drive-through. But yeah, this one goes here. This one goes on to say Chipotle leans into burritos to go with first digital only restaurant. And like I said, anybody who knows me, they know Chipotle is one of my favorite restaurants. I don't really go for the burrito. I'm more of a burrito bowl guy myself. Um, but I do actually get the tortilla inside of the bowl. I'm not going to give you my full order here. But I like Chipotle because I think it's a great value. I think it's, almost all of the all of the food options on the food chart. It's not too expensive. It's quick and easy. It's right around the corner, just about everywhere you are. I think. Um, so yeah, I like Chipotle. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? But the story goes on. It says you can go to Chipotle's newest restaurant, but you can't stay there. With online orders booming during the pandemic, the fast casual Mexican chain announced Wednesday that it is rolling out a new restaurant format that exclusively services pickup and deliveries. Chipotle Digital Kitchen is the company's take on the ghost kitchen model, empty of diners and fast on orders. And when it opens this weekend in Highland Falls, New York, it'll kick off an effort by the company to boost online sales in non traditional locations. So, we're still, hate to sound like a broken record, but in this coronavirus, COVID 19, everybody's doing things online. So everything involved with shopping online, and now we're taking it to the food service industry. Um, Online ordering is sort of booming in the times that we're in. So it shouldn't be. It's really not necessarily news that online orders has seen an uptick, or Chipotle is seeing a rise in their online orders. But I just think that it's interesting that they're actually pivoting um, to sort of transform some of their new real estate and have it be solely to again service those who uh, prefer to just have their order done through the app, hop into the store, real quick, hop back out, and you're on your way. Um, so yeah, it goes on. It says as more people turn to takeout and delivery to avoid public places during the coronavirus outbreak, cash-strapped restaurants have been forced to chase down dollars in novel ways, including testing new concepts or paring down operational costs with ghost kitchens. Such facilities can be urban warehouses containing multiple small kitchens leased by a restaurant or a restaurant subcontractor for delivery only, eliminating the need for premium locations and fancy build-outs. Orders are often delivered by third-party aggregators such as DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub. And there go those names again. Like I said, I've never ordered from any of those, but of course, everybody by now in 2020, we all should be familiar with those. Um, and yeah, I guess another bad experience was I went to a really nice little waffle restaurant in Portland a couple of weeks ago. And I understand it's definitely tough times, and they only had a couple of people working. Um, but again, it seemed like the online orders took priority. Um, and I get it. I get it. It's a new sort of world we're living in, where we are dealing with heightened I guess online orders, while also people are still trying to get out there in the real world and go to restaurants and um, order the traditional way. But I don't know. I don't know. It says the digital kitchen incorporates innovative features that will complement our rapidly growing digital business while delivering a convenient and frictionless experience for our guests. Kurt Garner, Chipotle's chief technology officer, said in a statement. With digital sales tripling year over year last quarter, consumers are demanding more digital access than ever before. Chipotle's new approach transforms the sizzles and scents and steeliness of the Chipotle dining room into a lobby designed to include all of the sounds, smells, and kitchen views of a traditional Chipotle restaurant, the company said. There will be a dedicated entry and pickup space for large catering orders. Guests will have to order in advance through the Chipotle website, the Chipotle app, or third-party delivery partners. So I don't really see this changing, how I go about consuming my Chipotle. Like I said, I like that bowl. I like that Chipotle bowl with the tortilla inside of it. Go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of that lettuce. I don't eat meat, so I get some white rice. Throw some of that black beans in there. Get some of that fajitas action. Let me get some queso. And then yeah, pretty much all the veggies, and it's just good to go every time. Every time. And I think the reason I'm hesitant to order through the online app is uh, I don't know. I like to get extra rice. I'm not gonna lie. I like to sit there and I like to say, hey, let me get a couple more of those scoops right there. Let me get like two or three of them scoops right there. You know what I mean? Just to I don't know. That's just me being honest. Okay, so maybe one day I'll download the DoorDash. Maybe they'll be running some type of holiday deal. I might be able to get like a coupon or 25% off somehow, and I'll download that Uber Eats and hit up the Chipotle and see what's good. But for right now, I'm gonna probably stick to my traditional way of going into Chipotle, saying what's up. By now they pretty much know who I am. um, uh, but yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that. It seems like Chipotle. It seems like they're taking advantage of some of the new trends that are emerging from the COVID-19 pandemic. There are a couple of other companies out there that are doing the same thing, that have had to sort of pivot and innovate around sort of the new guidelines, the new social standards that are expected, as we head into the new year and as we move forward. So it will be interesting to see what's going on with this. My Chipotle intake probably will continue to go up, just like their stock price. What can I say? I like Chipotle. I like Chipotle. It's quick and easy. It's quick and easy. Now, one of the last things I wanted to read here from the article, just because I think that this is important to pay attention to, is just, I guess, how fast this sector is growing, the online food service industry. But it says deliveries were already on the rise before the pandemic, but in the age of shutdowns and social distancing, it has become a rare pathway to growth in an otherwise meager landscape. A study by the NPD Group found that delivery orders climbed 67% in March, even as restaurant traffic slumped 22%. There are about 1,500 ghost kitchens in the United States, Restaurant Dive reported, but that number is expected to soar. One report from Euromonitor predicted that the ghost kitchen market could be worth $1 trillion by 2030. Food delivery revenue overall is projected to hit 24 billion by 2023, according to Statista. So yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm a big fan of Chipotle, and it's fun to talk about Chipotle, of course. But I think it's even more interesting to actually, and I know I'm not doing a super deep dive into it, but I think it's more interesting to look at the story behind the scenes about the online food service industry booming right now. And we know that when COVID first hit, the economy, took a hit. Restaurants closed, like I mentioned earlier, gyms closed. Everything was shut down. Um, and in recessions, you have sort of a birth, typically, or births of new ideas, new innovations, and things like that. And it's just kind of cool to sort of see one of my favorite restaurants, sort of. I know they're not really a small or local business type restaurant, but I think they're pretty good. I like them. I think it's kind of neat to see how they're pivoting and transforming in these hard times. So the last two stories here I'm gonna get into quick because it is getting late here and it is Sunday night. So they both have to do with the vaccine. I don't know too much about the vaccine. I know that unfortunately it has been heavily politicized over the past couple of months. Um, and this first story specifically has to do with something I saw in regard to Ticketmaster. Now everybody knows that events, concerts, sporting events were shut down earlier this year. From everything I heard, it seemed like people weren't really talking about going back into venues or to sporting arenas until maybe the middle of 2021. But I heard something about Ticketmaster, uh, and it had to do with them not allowing concert goers access into the venues without having a negative coronavirus or COVID 19 test within 24, 48, or 72 hours, something like that, uh, of trying to enter the concert. So I went online and I went to Ticketmaster's Twitter account, and they have a tweet here, and it says, "We know there's been some incorrect information being reported around safety entry requirements and want to ensure everyone has all the facts. To clarify, there is absolutely no requirement from Ticketmaster mandating vaccines testing. Full details here." And so when you actually go ahead and click on the little link, it takes you to uh, a further sort of press release that they put out, and it says, "What are your COVID screening requirements?" This was November 12th, 2020. "We have noticed there has been some misreporting around safety protocols. To clarify, there is absolutely no requirement from Ticketmaster mandating vaccines testing." So I wasn't one of the people super eager to get back out there um, and join the crowd and get back into the concerts. I think the last concert I went to was a Wiz Khalifa Currency concert when I first moved out to the Portland area. I went to a couple concerts in college, couple concerts in high school, and they're fun. But even now, that last concert I went to, I think that was early 2019. That was before anybody was even thinking about COVID-19 or the coronavirus or anything like that. I didn't really leave the concert that night feeling like if I wouldn't have gone, I would have missed much. So for me, I wasn't one of the people, or I'm not one of the people sort of super eager to get back to the concerts, or really even super eager to get back into live sporting events. Um, However, I did think that this was interesting because, of course, there are festivals, large sporting events like the Super Bowl, the World Series, all things that we're well aware of, and everybody's very interested in finding out how they're going to roll that back out as far as allowing fans to get back together under one roof and things like that. So it says uh, there is absolutely no requirement from Ticketmaster mandating vaccines slash testing for future events. Unfortunately, this has been widely reported and is incorrect. Ticketmaster does not have that power to set policies around safety entry requirements, which would include vaccines and or testing protocols. That would always be up to the discretion of the event organizer based on their preferences and local health guidelines. So I thought that was interesting, and as it continues, it sort of digs a little bit deeper into what it means there when it says that the decision would be up to the event organizer. So it sort of takes the accountability and takes the responsibility off of Ticketmaster, which I think is what their initial backlash um, was, or I should say, is what they were trying to divert the initial backlash from, sort of targeting Ticketmaster. It says, so what is Ticketmaster doing when it comes to COVID vaccines and testing? We are trying to prepare for potential possibilities in the future. It has become more common for people to take COVID tests before activities like traveling and seeing loved ones. If this is something that event organizers or venues choose to ask fans to do in the future, either for their own preferences or due to local health requirements, we want to be prepared. One idea to keep the event entry process as simple and convenient as possible, the story goes on, is to find a way for fans to link their digital ticket to their negative test results, vaccine status, health declaration, or any other info that is determined to greenlight access. This would allow fans to enter an event with one scan of their ticket rather than entering and having to wait in another line to show their health verification. While we have no control whether or not these factors will come into play in the future, if there's one thing we've learned, it's to prep for for as many scenarios as possible. And I guess their little press release it finishes off by just trying to ease fans who are flocking to Twitter after hearing the news, letting them know that it's still just a potential idea and not to worry, not to worry. Now, I'm going to be honest. One of the things that I might be a little bit worried about over the next couple of months is the story, the narrative around the vaccine as we, approach the winter and the new year. This story comes from the Associated Press yesterday. Trump still not conceding defeat, trumpets vaccine progress. So again, like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into this one because it is getting late. But I think in his first appearance since losing the election to President-elect Joe Biden on Friday, Trump came out to the Rose Garden at the White House and gave an update on the progress of the vaccine, and it was kind of eerie to watch, honestly. In some of the language he was using about withholding the vaccine, as far as early access to certain states like New York, um, and I hate to think that it's for political reasons. Um, I think in doing some extra reading, I think I saw, certain states like New York, they're waiting for other vaccines maybe to see what the results come back like. But I'll just read a little bit from this. It says, gliding over significant challenges still to come, President Donald Trump offered a rosy update on the race for a vaccine for the resurgent coronavirus as he delivered his first public remarks since his defeat by President-elect Joe Biden. He still did not concede the election. Trump spoke from the Rose Garden Friday as the nation sets records for confirmed cases of COVID-19. and as hospitalizations near critical levels and fatalities climb to the highest levels since the spring. He said a vaccine would ship in a matter of weeks to vulnerable populations, though the Food and Drug Administration has not yet been asked to grant the necessary emergency approvals. So we all know that this has been sort of the biggest critique of Trump in his presidency is how he's handled the coronavirus. Um, so to see, as he is apparently leaving the White House in his first administration, in his first term, um, to see him making sort of decisions around the coronavirus and continuing to make decisions around the coronavirus and new decisions around how it's going to be administered. Just something to keep a close eye on. So again, I'm not gonna stay too late with this tonight, everybody. Um, I wanna say thank you again to everybody who's joining for the second week. This is the first episode of Black Man Into the Wild. Last time it was a creative media broadcast, but we're gonna roll with this, and we're gonna continue to build. And hopefully, at the beginning of the year, we'll have sort of a nice thing going on here. Um, So that's it, everybody. Again, today's Sunday, September 15th, or excuse me, Sunday, November 15th, 2020. First episode of Black Man Into the Wild. As you can see, I'm still stumbling and bumbling, but we're rolling right along. We're rolling right along. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.